Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's October 22nd, 2016. In a couple of hours, Game 6 of the National League Championship Series will begin. The Los Angeles Dodgers at the Chicago Cubs. If the Cubs win tonight or tomorrow, they will advance to the World Series, a place they haven't been since 1945, 71 years ago. What I'm going to show you in this video is what is so interesting about the Cubs either advancing tonight or tomorrow to the World Series, which I fully expect them to do. In spring training, I put out a video saying why I expect the Cubs to be in the World Series and win it this year. Last year in spring training, I put out a video on why I expected the Mets to be in the World Series and why I expected them to win. The Mets did make it to the World Series, but they lost. This year, I said it's the Cubs' year. I think they'll win. We'll see if that's correct. And for the record, if I'm correct, that will have mean I picked the World Series correctly before the season began, the NBA Finals champion correctly before the season began. I said it was the Cavs' year all season. And also, I picked the Super Bowl in October of last year. I said it was the Broncos' year. So, pretty good resume, and I'm going to teach you how I did it. It's not magic. It's not knowing the sports well. It's understanding that sports are scripted and showing you the language that they're scripted within, which is what we're going to cover. So, the Cubs have not been to the World Series since 1945. They have a curse on them known as the Curse of the Billy Goat. Real quick, we're going to talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Billy Goat equals 103. So does Jacob Arrieta, who will pitch tomorrow night if the Cubs lose tonight. And the Cubs finished their season with 103 wins this year. Billy Goat, under the curse of the Billy Goat, which goes back to the 1945 World Series and the man Billy Sianis. Billy Sianis supposedly owns the tavern not far from Wrigley, the Billy Goat, and in Game 4 of the 1945 World Series, the Chicago Cubs, the Detroit Tigers. By the way, Detroit Tigers has gematria of 81. Chicago equals 81 in Jewish gematria. Chicago was up 8-1 in the 8th inning last game. Anyway, Chicago Cubs, Detroit Tigers, 1945. The owner of the Billy Goat Tavern brings his actual Billy Goat to the game, which he supposedly bought a ticket for, so that the Billy Goat could have a seat next to him. The fans in the section complained about the smell of the Billy Goat, and the fan was supposedly ejected. And as he was ejected, he said it was a shame, and the Cubs would be cursed, and they'd never win another World Series. So that was 1945. Remember, Illinois equals 45. Wrigley equals 45. Cubs equals 45. So does Bears. Chicago has the Bears, the football team. I showed how Thursday Night Football, the game was a tribute to the Cubs baseball game and why the Cubs should win during that game. I'll link that video in the description if you missed it. Well, anyway, Billy Sianis, the man connected to that curse who brought the coat, lo and behold, he died in history October 22nd, 1970, exactly 46 years ago today. Exactly 46 years ago today. The reason that's interesting is because Chicago equals 46. Chicago Cubs in Pythagorean gematria equals 46. No-hitter equals 46. The reason I bring that up is because earlier this year, I documented. First, I did a spring training video saying why the Cubs should break the 108-year curse this year. Major League equals 108. 108 stitches on a baseball. 108-year curse. Anyway, this year, the 112th World Series, the first no-hitter of the season was thrown April 21st by Jacob Arrieta, the Cubs pitcher. Cubs had the first no-hitter of the season exactly 46 days after Jacob Arrieta's birthday. So again, no-hitter 46, Chicago Cubs 46, Chicago 46. First no-hitter of the season 46 days after Arrieta's birthday. Jacob Arrieta 103, like Billy Goat, like how many games the Cubs won this year. The name Billy Sianis also sounds a lot like Zionist. And yesterday, Wall Street Journal put out an article why the Chicago Cubs are the teams of the Zionist Jews. Zionist equals 112. This is the 112th World Series. And if you're new to my channel, what I've been educating about is how all of pro sports since the beginning have been scripted by this gang, by the numbers. Every year it's this way. This is why the Cubs have a 108-year curse. Not because they've been bad, but because sports have been scripted, and this is the way they were scripted. So look, the date of the incident was October 6th, 1945. This guy would end up dying October 22nd, 1970. Notice that's 16 days after the anniversary of the incident. He died 16 days after the 25-year anniversary. We're in 2016. Anyway, 10-6. 10 plus 6, 16. 10-6 is a lot like 106. 106 is a number of prophecy. Remember in Back to the Future, it predicted the Cubs would win the World Series last year. If you watch that movie, it's a USA Today newspaper where they see that. USA Today equals 106. Last year was 106 seasons since the Cubs had won the World Series. They didn't win it last year, but they had some clues last year that they'd win it this year, which is how I knew that this year from following a pattern. So anyway, prophecy equals 106 and 52 the small way. This is Game 6. On the anniversary of the death of Billy Sianis 46 years ago. The Cubs could win tonight, or they could lose in tribute to the curse. And if they lose, I'm pretty sure Jacob Arrieta is going to break the curse tomorrow, which we'll talk more about. So Prophecy 6, they have a connection. It could happen tonight. I'll show you tonight's pitching matchup, which is so fascinating. I'm going to show you about the Cubs and Indians. At the beginning of the playoffs this year, I reevaluated, and I said, I think we're going to see the Cubs and Indians play each other in the World Series. The Indians are already there. I'm going to show you something about the movie Major League, the Cubs, the Indians, their history. Stay tuned. There's so much more to come. So anyway, again, 45. Illinois, Wrigley, Bears, Cubs. Cubs haven't been to a World Series since 45. 16, a special number when you write out, it sums to 33. Think about the Chicago Cubs, the CC, the 33. Cubs with that 103-game win season. Billy Goat, 103. Jacob Arrieta. The tavern, the Billy Goat, was established in the year 34, 11 years before the curse. In the movie Major League, the manager of the Indians wears the number 34, and his co-manager wears the number 16, like this year. Indians equals 34. The character named Wild Thing, which is played by Charlie Sheen, we'll get to it. Wild Thing, though, equals 52 and 106. The numbers of prophecy. We'll talk about the number he wears in that movie and what it has to do with the Cubs and Indians in real life. So here's yesterday's Wall Street Journal article. World Series equals 57. Jews equals 57. This year we saw Prince die at age 57 on the 112th day of the year, the same day Jacob Arrieta threw the no-hitter. Said there could be a riddle in there for the World Series with Prince. Here's the shot in history. This is the shot from 1945 after the goat and the man were ejected. This is supposed to be Billy Sianis. Here's his goat. We got Detroit's goat. Show you what's so interesting about this phrase, we got Detroit's goat. We got Detroit's goat equals 223, just like Curse of the Billy Goat, which is called, just like the Synagogue of Satan, which is the name given to the Jewish people in Revelation of the Bible. In Revelation, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. Their name is the Synagogue of Satan. Now think about Wall Street Journal yesterday. That article I just showed you is from yesterday saying the Chicago Cubs are the Jews' team. Masonic in Gematria sums to 223. Again, it's the Freemasons, the Zionist Jews who've been running sports, scripting them by the numbers, along with the propaganda and history and news media that this gang also controls. These are the people who run our world. They're called the Illuminati, the New World Order. This is what they are. Old World Order is the New World Order. It's what came over and established this nation centuries ago. So look at this. The name Billy Sianis in Gematria sums to 131, like championship, like Super Bowl. This is the man connected to the droughts for the Cubs in championships. If you write out 57 as a word, it sums to 131. World Series equals 57. Again, Prince died at age 57 on the 112th day of the year this year. Last year, 57 days after the World Series was won, Dave Henderson dropped dead at age 57. Henderson equals 57. The last team he played for were the Kansas City Royals, who won the World Series. So again, this article yesterday, or from Wall Street Journal, is from yesterday, October 21st, 2016. Talking about 108, that baseball number. The word curse in Gematria sums to 66. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible with regards to the synagogue of Satan, where that name comes from. World Series also has Gematria of 66. 2 years ago, when the Giants won the World Series, it was the worst earthquake in San Francisco, 66 days before they won the World Series, since the '89 World Series earthquake between the Oakland Athletics and the San Francisco Giants. 66 days after that earthquake, the worst since '89, the Giants won the World Series. World Series has the Gematria connection to 66 too. They said the goat's name that the curse is connected to, the goat's name is Murphy. Murphy equals 38 like Jew. With regards to Gematria in baseball, Major League Baseball 162 games in a season. Major League 108 stitches on a baseball. Notice that the stitches are 88 inches in length. Special number in Back to the Future, which hints about a Cubs World Series. The travel speed is 88 miles per hour. This year they're facing the Dodgers, who haven't won since '88. California equals 88. Losers equals 88. Baseball in Gematria sums to 54. When the Cubs win, number 54 will probably be on the mound for the Cubs, who they traded for this year, the hardest throwing man in baseball. Billy Sianis, Zionist. The mayor of Israel right now is Ram Israel Emanuel, whose brother was a member of Irgun. Irgun equals 33, the Zionist militant group. Ram Israel Emanuel is born on the same day that is the anniversary date of the establishment of Israel by a 33-member vote by the United Nations on the 333rd day of the year, November 29th, 1947. Ram Israel Emanuel, born 12 years after that. With regards to 108, the last game the Cubs won in LA, going up 3-2. Notice that Lester came out with 108 pitches. Been seeing a lot of this in the playoffs for the Cubs. The team had a total of 144 pitches. Remember that, because we're going to talk about tonight's pitcher for the Cubs in 144. Remember, the first playoff win for the Cubs was over the Giants. It was the 108th pitch that Javier Baez hit for a home run off the pitcher named Johnny Brent Cueto Ortiz, 108. Pitcher with 108 name on his 108th pitch gives up the home run to win the game for the Cubs, who are on the 108-year drought. So many things I've documented on my blog. I'm just showing you a part of it. Here's tonight's pitchers. It's Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers and Kyle Hendricks for the Cubs. Clayton Kershaw comes into this game 4-6. 4-6. We're on the 46-year anniversary of the Chicago Cubs. 46-year anniversary of Billy Sianis dying, who's connected to the curse. Here's another good one. The last time the Chicago football team, the Bears, won the Super Bowl was in the '85 season. Chicago's the birthplace of the National Football League. National Football League equals 85. They won that year with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. 4-6, Chicago 46. They won 46-10 over the Patriots. Patriots equals 46. The last time Chicago won a Super Bowl, 46-10 over the Patriots, which equals 46, and they won it with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. Ron Rivera was on that team. The Bears went 15-1 in '85. Last year he coached the Panthers that went 15-1. Then lost in Super Bowl 50, the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. Levi's Stadium, where it was at, equals 46. In November of last year, I said it would be Broncos over Panthers. In November of last year, I said it would be Cavs over Warriors in a repeat. I knew it would be Cavs before the season began. Cavs over Warriors, that's what I had in November. This year in spring training, I thought it would be Cubs over Astros. I learned by season's end why I saw that parallel. It had everything to do with the Cubs-Astros series beginning September 9th this year, which we'll get to. The Rangers got a big tribute and had the numbers of prophecy, so I thought they might be there instead. Their manager was from Houston. Instead, it's the Indians, and I figured out why at the beginning of the playoffs. I'm going to show you more why in just a moment. But anyway, Clayton Kershaw tonight pitching 4-6 against Kyle Hendricks. Watch how awesome this is. Clayton Kershaw's postseason record, his career record in the playoffs, is 4-6 right here. So if he loses tonight, he'll be 4-7. 4-7. Did a video months ago about when number 47 hit a walk-off home run 47 days before what will be Game 7 of the World Series, which is November 2nd this year, 11/2, 112th World Series. The 111th World Series last year ended on 11/1. So here's Clayton Kershaw, born in 88, like the last year the Dodgers won, California 88, 88 inches on a baseball. Notice his birthday. It's March 19th, 1988, born in Dallas, Texas. From his birthday this year, his 28th birthday to the game is 216 days. We saw this number come up big in the NBA Finals. Cleveland, home of the 216 area code. Final game of Game 6. Here we are in another Game 6. The Cavs won the game. It was the last game in Cleveland with a sum of 216 points for the Cavs and the Warriors. The word prophecy in Jewish gematria equals 666. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. Again, it's Game 6, which has the prophecy connection. 652, like prophecy. From tonight's game until his upcoming birthday, 149 days. His birthday, March 19th, it can be written 19/3. That's a lot like 193. The 44th prime makes me think of Obama, the 44th president with the Chicago connections. It also makes me think of Hillary, who's about to become the next president, who will be the 44th person to be president, also from Chicago. In spring training, when I made my Cubs pick, I said I thought it would be the tribute to the election. Candidates with Chicago connections. Clayton Kershaw's birthday also has 110 numerology connected to the gematria of the word president. President equals 47 and 110. If Kershaw loses tonight, he'll be 4-7 in the postseason. Could always get a no decision, too. His name, Clayton Kershaw, sums to 58, like secret society, like Freemasonry. Manchurian athlete. So here's the other pitcher. The other pitcher tonight is Kyle Hendricks, whose birthday is December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Pearl Harbor Day, remember that. From his birthday to tonight's game is 47 days. He has a chance to make Clayton Kershaw 4-7. Also, from his last birthday to today is 319 days. And we just saw that Clayton Kershaw's birthday is what? March 19th, 3/19. Every time I have decoded a playoff game so far and looked at the pitchers have all these synchronicities with each other every single game. And this really does blow my mind, but what it goes to show is just how scripted these leagues are and how planned out they are, and how these men who are these athletes, how they have been born and bred to be in these scripted moments. I know it's mind-blowing, but it's obvious what's going on. You know, this kind of coincidence, it's not possible every single game. Every time I take the time to decode, it's this same scenario. So anyway, this guy, he's born on Pearl Harbor Day. I got to show you what's so interesting about Pearl Harbor Day. Notice his 27th birthday is also upcoming on Pearl Harbor Day. MLB 27, Clayton Kershaw, he's going up against 27. The New York Yankees, the most winningest baseball team in playoff history, 27 World Series wins. So remember, last Cubs game, 144 total pitches. Hold on, we got a siren. All right, last game, 144 total pitches, 108 for the starter. Look at the name Kyle Hendricks, 144. He's born on Pearl Harbor Day, 144. The word military equals 44. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Again, Obama, the 44th president. Hillary, about to become the 44th person to be president. Illinois equals 45. Hillary from Illinois, the 45th president. Anyway, the word time has gematria of 144. And as I said in spring training, as I said at the end of last season, this year is the Chicago Cubs' time to win. And you look, Cubs, if I'm wrong and you guys lose this year and the Dodgers advance, my mind will absolutely be blown if you don't win next year. And the reason, the small chance that that could be, is because this year it's been 108 years since the Cubs won the World Series, but 107 seasons because of the 94 lockout season. Next year will be 108 seasons. It's even possible that the Cubs make up for due time and win this year and win next year as a tribute. So don't be surprised. I mean, they're the best team in baseball right now. A lot can change in an offseason, but that could be it. If the Cubs don't win tonight, here's what I see tomorrow. Tomorrow has 49 numerology. Jacob Arrieta equals 49. He wears the number 49. So much of this season's been scripted around him. Revelation equals 49, the book of prophecy. The way the people script the sports, they see it as fulfilling their own prophecy by the numbers, seemingly, coding the same numbers again and again in these patterns for team championships. It'll be Game 7 tomorrow as well if the Dodgers win tonight. And think about 49, the square root 7 times 7, 49. So now here's something awesome. Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians all-time record. Look at this. This is their all-time record. The Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs, they've played each other 18 times only because they're interleague, National League, American League. Interleague play only started in recent years. They've played each other 18 times. They're 9-9 against each other. Watch this. Illinois equals 99, 9-9 against each other, and baseball equals 18. All year, I've been trying to figure out who the perfect opponent is for the Cubs to advance over. And the reason I thought it was the Astros in the beginning of the year is because Houston's the only city that equals 112. The Chicago White Sox won a recent World Series against the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros then moved to the American League. Now they're a possible opponent for the Cubs. And I thought that they might do the riddle that way, having the Astros lose against the White Sox and the Cubs. Maybe that would have been too obvious. But then again, a lot of times the rigging is obvious. So the Astros didn't pan out, but the Astros and Cubs, they played each other this year on September 9th. 9-9, 112th World Series. And I have a video on that. From that date of that game to the upcoming World Series, a significant date. Here, let's just look at it again a second time. I forget exactly what the number was, but I remember it fit in to the equation. 9-9, 2016. The World Series scheduled to begin October 25th. There it was. From 9-9 to October 25th was 46 days. You see that? Another 46. I knew it was a significant number. I just couldn't remember which one it was. But this is how it is, you know? This is how sports are scripted. This is how these schedules are made. This is why these teams are 9-9 all time. It's because everything is scripted out way in advance. It's like last year I was showing the Broncos and Panthers. They'd played one time before Super Bowl 50, or the time they'd played before Super Bowl 50, where I was saying they were going to meet. The game had summed to 50 points. And it was on a perfect date. I said, look, it's all the tributes to Super Bowl 50. And lo and behold, it ended up being Super Bowl 50. And I didn't catch this part at the beginning of the playoffs when I said it would be Cubs Indians, but I looked at the movie Major League, and the whole Wild Thing having the same gematria as prophecy, him wearing number 99, the movie coming out 27 years before this year's World Series, the cursed Cubs, the cursed Indians, the Cleveland Cavaliers breaking the basketball curse this year after 52 years. You know? If I didn't say so earlier, MLB in Sumerian gematria, which is where you multiply each letter times 6. A is 6, B is 12, C is 18. MLB that way is 162, like Major League Baseball, like the length of the season. So anyway, this made me laugh. Look at this shot right here. Jacob Arrieta, when he hit the home run in the postseason against the Giants, they had this 57-second timestamp up, ESPN World Series 57. He got that first no-hitter 46 days after his birthday, on the 112th day where Prince died at age 57. So as a reminder, the Cubs, they won their 94th game this year in their 147th game of the season. When you write out 94, it sums to 147 just like World Series. When you write out 94 the small way, it sums to 57 like World Series. This year, the season began on the 94th day of the year. And the Indians finished the regular season with 94 wins, which is also why I paired them up with the Cubs at the beginning of the playoffs. The word home run also has gematria of 94, the reflection of 49, the number for Jacob Arrieta, who wears 49. This game was played on October 10th, 1010. Revelation in Jewish gematria, 1010. Going in with the Revelation code. The number 103, I should also mention, is the 27th prime number. 27 outs per team, 54 outs in a game. Baseball, 54. MLB, 27. Again, as a reminder, the Cavs played 103 games this year. Their 103rd game was Game 7, where they won the NBA Finals. LeBron James had 27 points. Hours before the game, the movie actor Anton Yelchin was killed by his own car in his driveway. At age 27, he had 103 birth numerology. 103, the 27th prime number. This was the 42nd pitch of the game that this home run came on. Rare pitcher home run. 42nd pitch of the game. Hit it off Madison Bumgarner, who's considered to be the best baseball pitcher in playoff history. The name Madison Bumgarner sums to the same thing as San Francisco Giants. Jacob Arrieta, by the way, his date of birth, date with 33 numerology, 33 CC, Chicago Cubs. He's from Farmington. Farmington, gematria 54, like baseball. By the way, the name Jacob is the name that becomes Israel in the Bible. We're talking about the Chicago Cubs, the team of the Jews, the Zionist Jews, Israel. Israel equals 64, the reflection of 46. He's from Farmington, Missouri. Missouri equals 42 alone. Hit the 42nd pitch, Freemason 42. Farmington, Missouri has the gematria just like Freemason as well. When you add all the numbers that divide into 42, they sum to 96. Freemason's 42 the small way, 96 the big way. From the game to his upcoming birthday, 147 days like World Series, the big way. For you Dodger fans, what you should know is from Dave Roberts' birthday, your manager, to the World Series is 147 days. He played for the Indians. He also played for the Boston team that broke the curse. But I think that's why the Cubs are going to advance over him, because he's connected to a curse, then beating the Indians who are connected to a curse, a city that overcame a curse this year. It's kind of in your face. From the date of the home run that he just hit Arrieta to his no-hitter, April 21st, 173 days. That's the 40th prime number. United States equals 40. Home run the small way also equals 40. Got a big home run after his big no-hitter. First no-hitter of the season. And again, last year, the Mets, who were also in the World Series, were involved in the first no-hitter of the year against the Giants. And I documented that. And I documented something on the 108th day of the year. Jacob deGrom for the Mets last year, April 18th, had a very significant game. And I said, see, there's another sign the Mets are going to be in the World Series. If you know what patterns to follow early, you can pick up on enough clues to be confident about what's to come. And by the way, oh, never mind. I was going to say something, but just forget it. It's not important. So anyway, there's the knowledge truth seeker. That's what I meant to say. All right, until next time.